What's good? What's good? Oh my gosh. I'm just doing my laundry and I had time to kill and I needed to check something on the internet anyways on my laptop. So I was like, let's bust out the old setup. This freaking laptop, super old, super cheap, super ghetto. This camera I use, oh my gosh. I'm just like the things I've done with this equipment. I'm digging it. But anyways, why am I in a giddy mood at the current moment? I I don't love being a troll all the time, but occasionally I truly relish it. And I'm having one of those moments. I set Instagram on fire and I don't do Twitter and I don't do X. Like I've made a few tweets in the past, but I don't like it. And part of the reason I don't like it is because when something does catch fire, it's an insane feeling. I get all of these emotions and endorphins, and it's like a fucking drug. It really is. It's insane. And so I get why people get hooked to it and try to go viral and try to do all that. Oh my gosh, it's wild. So anyways, um uh I posted on Instagram because I follow a page. You should go follow it. It's Seattle looks like shit, but it's Seattle dot looks dot like dot SHXT. Um, so it's not actually shit. But anyways, go to their page, follow them. They posted a video of a recent Boeing 747 that was apparently like catching fire mid-flight. And I hope everyone's okay. I don't know what the outcome of that event was, but Boeing has been in the spotlight recently, and for years they've kind of been in the spotlight in terms of the 737 having major issues, the 777 being pushed back, the 787 having issues, safety issues, crashes, bad quality control things being put through that shouldn't have. Just a lot of bad things have been happening at Boeing. I worked at Boeing. I don't talk about it a lot, but I've mentioned it a few times. For almost 5 full years, I worked in their business operations division. So I did some data analytics and I also did some supplier management. So I have firsthand experience of the corporate experience at Boeing. And so what I posted on that video, and so it was connected to the title of this video, Diversity Kills. This is what I posted. I witnessed the downfall of Boeing at the hands of DEI firsthand. That's why I left. Diversity kills. Because it does. And we're seeing it, and it's only going to get worse, unfortunately. I hope it only gets a little bit worse. I hope it actually doesn't get worse. Let's start there. When I say I hope it only goes a little bit worse, that's because I am so confident in my predictions that I'm trying to mitigate what could be a huge disaster in my timeline creation. So ultimately, yeah, I hope it doesn't get worse, obviously, but with the confidence interval that I possess towards the notion that it is going to get worse, I hope it's only a little bit. And so, how can I say that? Because I can tell you firsthand, Boeing is no longer a meritocratic institution. They are a diversity, equity, and inclusion focused institution. What does that mean? That means that they want to hire more women of color. That means they want to hire more women. They want to promote more women. They want to promote more women of color. They don't care about the competency. They also want to hire more men of color as well and promote more men of color. So they just want to emphasize gender and color more. That's a very simplified version, but it's true. It is very true. And so sometimes people who might not actually be capable of a job have found themselves in a job as a result of their race or gender or a combination of both. And on one level, I just think to myself, I would not feel good if I knew the reason I got a job was tokenism, was almost like pity. Like, we feel bad for you. So we're going to give you something you don't deserve. And then we're going to expect you to perform at a level above your capabilities. Even though we know you don't have the capabilities, we're still going to expect you to perform. And then everyone kind of has to pretend that everything is okay. And, oh, that person, it's not that they're not qualified. It's just that they haven't been given the right support, or some form of systemic oppression has prevented them from being competent enough to do the job that they were given, instead of just hiring someone who is qualified to do the job. And so when I say diversity kills, this is what I'm talking about. Because people who should not be in positions are in these positions, things are going to get looked over, things are going to get missed. Production is going to suffer. It has suffered. And we're literally experiencing it. And so on one end, I'm glad that at this point in my life I'm so broke that I can't really travel, because it's probably not safe to travel for a while. But yeah, this really kind of set Instagram afire. Let me see if I can find some, I've been called a bigot a few times. Uh Diversity, like racial diversity or diversity from other companies, because you sound racist as fuck. And so it's really, I'm getting a lot of likes. Like, I'm up to 142. That's a lot. But then some positive people saying, yeah, you're right. And some people just really coming after me. Let's see if there's any. And a lot of people are thinking I'm going with like the race thing. They're like, you're a racist. And I'm not. I'm actually going with the sexist thing. Um, Men and women are awesome. They have unique strengths and weaknesses. And I think that the average woman would not thrive in an engineering environment. And they're trying to force the environment to change to let these people in that really shouldn't be there in the first place. Now, let me just get this out there. If a woman is qualified and competent, she should be in that role. However, we shouldn't force women who are not qualified or competent into these roles. And then that kind of also connects to, you might hear me often talk about, we should be living in alignment with the planet, in alignment with our true, authentic selves when it comes to the pursuit of self actualization. And I think a lot of people are just trying to force a square peg into a round hole. That's what a lot of this diversity, equity, and inclusion does. And that's what a lot of this propaganda does, particularly the propaganda targeted at women that denigrate the idea of being a stay-at-home mom and say that that's not actually a good use of your life, when in fact it is a fantastic use of your life. I think a lot of women would be a lot happier if they were working for their families instead of working for a giant fucking corporation that doesn't care about them. But the sexes have been divided, because if you can divide the sexes, then you can control them. And so instead of having these self actualized people bringing their best selves to the world, we've all become automatons for the matrix. They don't want you to see gender because all they want to see is a worker. I want to see gender because I want to see self actualization. I want to see where you as an individual will find an environment where you can best thrive. And it should be organic and natural. It should feel fulfilling and pleasurable. How, like, what is the statistic? Like, more than ever, people are on antidepressants. More than ever, people are unhappy. Like, we as a society are sick. And part of it is the programming, the indoctrination towards creating this world of workers to serve the establishment elite. I think I'm going to end the video there before I get too far off topic, but go check out that page. And yeah. Oh man, this is a weird feeling. I get why people get addicted to it. This is why I avoid it. Anyways, much love, y'all. And